Hey everyone, we are back for another exciting week of rehearsals, and this week we are talking everything that's about to be coming up at the WGI 2024 Championships. We also get to find out what made Ricardo say,
I love that you love your children, okay? But everybody's child has been working hard.
And why Ashlee said,
yeah, she was in a group called the Daily Debutantes out of, I think it's Wisconsin, and their thing is like Irish, so she was like the little leprechaun in their parade corps group.
All this and more. So get out on the field and we will see you back on the sidelines for this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go. Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in.
It's time for a water break. Welcome to another episode of Season 2 of On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Jackie Brown. We have made it to WGI week. If you are listening to this the week it comes out, you are probably on your way to Dayton, waiting for Dayton to begin, or you're an avid listener and you just want to hear us be absolutely ridiculous. So either way, we have it all for you this week. I want to get to who's on the sidelines this week immediately because we have so much excitement going on for rehearsal today. Ricardo, oh my gosh, those daily waterings you've been giving us.
Bonjour. Yeah, this has been really fun. Just ranting off the top of my head, but I'm going to tell everyone, if you have something that you want me to rip off of, please email us at onawaterbreak@gmail.com. Send us messages at On a Water Break Podcast, all of those things. I will try to get to them and I will rant with you because I'm pretty sure that I feel the same way that most of you do out there about a lot of things.
All right. Well, Trish is working on some exciting news for our WGI appearance, I hear.
I am. I've been reaching out to a bunch of people, seeing if they're going to, be willing to meet up with us at the Showday Designs table and chat a little WGI, and we'll see how it all turns out.
I am so excited. That was like one of the things that I actually miss from like the COVID days was doing live shows, doing these like live interviews and stuff on. I'm so excited. This is going to be fantastic. Ashlee, your first trip to Dayton as a spectator is happening this year. Is that what I hear?
Yes, I haven't been to Dayton since 2019, since before COVID, so I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Because, when you're performing, you go and like everything's already done for you. And I'm like, okay, I need a ticket. I'm sorry, what? I have to pay to go to this thing and we're driving.
Girl, don't even talk to me about long drives. I'm driving all the way from Southern Missouri.
Yeah, I think ours is like 8. My dad's coming with me, so it'll be daddy-daughter trip.
My son's coming. We'll have a whole family get together. It'll be great. Cynthia, oh my gosh, that Canadian round table.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was really, really cool. It's funny always for me to do those things with my fellow Canadians, which I never ever speak in English to, but I was just glad. And I think that anyone that wants to sit down and talk every year, every season, there's something special and different about any experiences. So I guess that's what the roundtable was about. But if you want to have some sort of conversation with me, go on awaterbreak@gmail.com and I will be happily talking to you on Lost in Translation. Yeah. But yeah, that was a great, great roundtable with friends and I'm just so happy people get to know the groups a little bit more before Dayton.
Yeah, and these roundtable structures have been so great. We've had several really good ones just in the last few weeks, and anybody who hasn't listened yet, go back, check those out, because seriously, they're so good and they get you prepped for Dayton. Mm-hmm. Speaking of prepped for Dayton, Stephanie, you must be doing so much prep right now. Don't you have a kid over there?
I actually have 2 kids that are marching in Dayton, 1 in each week. So my daughter is in Alta Maria, their independent open. So I'm flying up. I'll be there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday with her, and then fly back Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in Houston, then fly back to Dayton Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for my son.
Racking up those airline miles.
I am. But let me tell you that watching them as a parent is more nerve-wracking than any group I've ever taken. I am literally on the edge of my seat. The poor lady that sat next to me in Atlanta, I grabbed her leg. I didn't even know who she was. So if you sit by me, just know I'm like this the whole time.
Is it terrible that reminds me of my second date with my husband? We went to a football game and something happened and it scared me and I grabbed his leg and he was just like, "Don't touch me. I don't know you that well yet."
I know. I apologized when it was over. I was like, "I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I only have one kid performing today. I'm in my own personal space from here on."
All right. For those who haven't seen it yet, we have partnered with Showday Designs, which if you haven't heard of them, just BT dubs. They make incredible flags and costumes. I think they were one of the most popular costume designers we've sold on our site. I'm just throwing that in there for you guys. We'll have a recording area in the Showday Designs tent at WGI, or in the tent with the Showday Designs booth at WGI Championships. We're going to be conducting live interviews. We're going to be talking to designers, performers, directors, everybody who's there that we can. We're going to have some giveaways going on. We have stuff from Showday to give away, Guard Closet, Style Plus, who's been a faithful sponsor through all of this, and so much more. So who is excited about this? We're going to Dayton.
Yeah, woo! It's finally here.
I'm excited.
Yes, and such a great company. I'm excited.
So we are all about the Colorguard Championships this week because it's WGI, but there is some news that we need to do the news before we get there. So let's get into that. All right, let's just start with our biggest story this week. Trish, come on.
Okay, so this week, actually, April 2nd, the cadets have officially announced that they are filing bankruptcy and they are no longer able to cease, operate as a drum corps or anything of that nature. Obviously, a lot of people have heard about the lawsuits, and that's cited in the article as well, that the contingency to filing bankruptcy was that if they have to not, operate as a performing arts entity ever again, or else they'll be responsible, for some of the lawsuit stuff. So it's a really sad day. For those of you who know, I live in North Jersey. I'm probably less than 10 miles from Garfield, New Jersey, which is where it all started. I always wanted to be a cadet. There were a lot of reasons why I weren't, but I always wanted to be because it was so close here. A lot of people that I was marching Winter Guard with at the time were in cadets. So it kind of hits home a little bit for me. I have a lot of friends that are alums, posted up all over Facebook that, how sad they are about it. We all kind of knew this day was coming, but now it's in black and white that it's here. And it's just incredibly sad that the cadets will not be at BCI championships or any events, for the foreseeable future. And, I just hope, my wish, and this is why I wanted to report on this story, and my hope and my wish is that they could just ride off into the sunset, without any more drama, without any more negativity, that we can appreciate everything that they've done for this activity and all the championships that they won, but not even the championships. I mean, we all remember when they came back, what was that, 2018, after everything broke, and they had that memorable performance at DCI East. We all saw the video, somebody at the gate recording the crowd as they were performing. I mean, there's so many memorable moments we can think about. And I just hope that, and I've been seeing stuff pop up on Facebook and whatever on the post, well, this is because of this, and this is because of that. This is because of, let's not go there. Let's just let it ride off into the sunset. We'll always have the memories. And, I wish all the alumni well. I wish that there's a way for them. I know they do their alumni events in the fall. They're right over here near me. I wish that, I hope that is enough for them going forward, that they could still do that. And we can all still remember. I hope there's a way that we could, just remember them. And I hope there's ways that we can create for, at DC. I don't know how to do it, but, I hope that it's, significantly
It's a positive
remembered.
memory,
Positive memories, exactly.
Yeah. I love it. That's I love like that idea of just like putting this whole positive spin and on the memories of them, because they really have been through so much. And like, we were talking a little bit before the show about how each one of us has been touched by the cadets, and like, as an organization, whether we wanted to be a part of them, we just wanted to watch them or what, but like just seeing all of the stuff that has been posted to Facebook alone from alumni and from fans over the last few days it's heart-wrenching. It's heartwrenching to see that, because they've touched so many people.
One thing that I was really impressed with was how the other drum corps addressed, the situation with the cadets, and like the individual drum corps saying goodbye to the cadets, which I thought was really touching, in some of the manners that they did that, because we will all miss them. And when you're a drum corps and you have somebody like the cadets, we're all better. You need those groups that are there at the top because they're pushing you to be better. So we need those types of groups to stay. But I just thought it was just really classy how some of the other long-standing drum corps, just didn't pretend like it didn't happen, but really said a formal goodbye. And I just thought it was a very respectful way for them to address it as well.
It's kind of interesting because the fact that I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s when the cadets were just really on their game, and I always wanted to march cadets. I always wanted to be in April Gilligan's Color Guard. And I tell her that to this day every time I see her. But everybody that I was taught by was a cadet, everybody. So, we all have that family bond. Even if you didn't march there, you're somehow connected to it. And it's a sad day. So they were a huge part in shaping the way that I do things. And I know a lot of other people do things, and they're going to be missed.
Cynthia, how far has the cadets' reach gone? Have they been super influential in Canada, just as a corps and as their style?
I think any of the founding organization has been very, influential for anyone around the world. But for us, it's a group that a lot of Quebecers went to march. So either it's because of how closer it is and how was one of the closest successful world-class organizations. So we do have a couple of Quebecers that were mourning the situation also. And Ricardo is right. For us, it's the same thing. I had staff that marched at cadets. I had drummers that marched at cadets because it's closer. So yeah, it did hit home too. And just saying the same thing that Trish said, go in positivity, and all the theories and all the bad wording should go at least non-public, so we can focus on all the goods that they've done and how gracefully they tried to finish everything, their story, right? So
definitely. All right, well, let's move on to our next news story, which is from Ashlee. Hey.
So my news story is, we got some sad news this week. It's just not too uplifting so far. The arranger and composer, musician, I'm going to butcher his last name, so I apologize. John J. Tatengorst? Yeah. Well, he passed away. He was the arranger and composer for Ohio State, and he graduated there with a degree in music, and he arranged for them for more than 40 years. So that's like probably a long tradition of theirs, and like probably a big part of their culture that they've just lost. So our condolences are with them, and hopefully they can find someone else to bring his work back to life for the years coming forward.
Man, yeah. And Christine from Guard Closet was talking about this. She played a lot of arrangements by him when she was at Penn State. This is somebody who's touched a lot of people who are in the music industry all over, in the marching band industry in particular.
Yeah, the article says he's written for Penn State Blue Band, Purdue's All-American Marching Band, and the University of Washington Husky Band as well.
That is a far reach.
It also says, yeah, he's reached all over. And it's funny, it says in the fall of 1965, the band director at Ohio State. So while John was still in the band director, Charles Spahn, asked John to arrange the song for a halftime show, and he did it in 4 hours, and the band performed his arrangement for the first time that same fall during a halftime against Illinois.
Nice.
So it's crazy.
They say bad things always happen in threes. I don't know. Ricardo, do you have something more happy for our news story?
Well, first of all, we're talking about bad things happening in threes.
Oh, no.
So my article has to deal with the city of Baltimore. So I want to first acknowledge the people that lost their lives in the Francis Scott Key Bridge disaster last week. But coming from a more positive note to change this around, all of you musicians, go and dust off your instruments because the Baltimore Ravens marching band is holding auditions this weekend. I hope that you get this podcast before it happens, but on April the 6th, the Baltimore Ravens marching band, which is the largest marching organization in the NFL, will be having their auditions at Owings Mills High School, which is in Owings Mills, Maryland. And they have music and marching auditions that are starting. The entire article and schedule for the day is up on foxbaltimore.com. But this band does great things. Not only do they do the Baltimore Ravens games, but they often take the band out and promote the city of Baltimore and the Ravens by doing parades, fan festivals. They have been at the Pro Football Hall of Fame parade. They've done the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. They've done President Bush's inaugural parade. Listen, this is like an NFL team with their own marching band. Like, that is like the dream. And listen, people at the Baltimore Ravens marching band, if you decide to have a color guard, there are several of us on here that will definitely step in and come and do your color guard.
We're here.
I'm an hour away.
We will team up, and it will be the fiercest color guard that you have had. But all you musicians out there, get your horns dusted off, go and audition. I mean, this is just cool. A pro NFL football team with their own marching band. I love it. I'm here for it.
We also had their band director on our podcast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, go back and listen and find that interview because that
was a really fun episode. That was fun.
Tips.
That was a good episode.
Speaking of auditions, I heard about an awesome one today. Disney is having auditions for their color guard in the Boo to You parade. Super excited. One of my students was looking at it and asking me about it today, and I was like, hey, let's go do this. You'd have to live in the Orlando area in order to be a part of it, but they are looking for flag performers. But I
have a couple of kids that are going to audition. I'm very excited for them.
Do it. I'm so excited. I have a friend who did it for years, and he was like, I was messaging him. I was like, my student has all these questions, and like, oh, it's great. It's an awesome experience. And if you can snag that one, I think audition applications are being accepted through April 8th. So go search that up on Disney Auditions.
My husband and I went to the Halloween party in 2019, I guess. It was right before COVID. And we didn't know that they had a color guard that came through. But, I mean, we're parade people, so we were right there at the front.
Right.
And they came through, and they were actually doing work. Like, I'm sure I have it on video somewhere on my phone. But I was so impressed because it wasn't just like, some tones or whatever. Like, it was some real work. So
there's body underneath. Yeah. They're throwing things in the air.
Oh my gosh.
This is it
was so good. It was so good.
As someone who lives in Florida who does color guard around here, I mean, there are a ton of color guards, like amazing color guards in the Orlando area.
Yes.
So, I mean, they're pulling from people, like Michael James has written for those parades. Kevin Griner is one of the active choreographers for those Disney parades. I mean, they are doing the work, honey. It ain't just grade, slam, up, down, cone. They are twirling, girl. They are twirling.
Yes, and that's what I'm hoping people know is if you think you're just going to walk up and down, you're going to be at right shoulder for, however long, quarter mile.
No,
that ain't this job.
It's so good. The whole length of the parade.
And people were going wild. It was awesome. I mean, I was dying, but it was really great.
Well, Michael James, speaking of these amazing instructors and designers, he's going to be on our podcast when we get to WGI. So hype that up.
Woo! Oh my God, one of my fave.
He sure is. I'm so excited about that.
Let's recap our favorite marching arts posts relating to the April Fools. There was so much this year. It was over the top. Who did you guys like their April Fool's jokes?
I'm laughing because I walked into class and, okay, first of all, I was a few minutes late for school. Nobody judged me. I live far away from the school. I have to drive across the sea. It's okay. But my kids were like devastated because they love Phantom Regiment and they know I'm a Cavalier. Mm-hmm. And one of my kids who wants to be a Phantomette came up and was like, Ricky, I don't know if you know this or not, but the Phantom Regiment is changing their colors to green. And I was like, baby, what's today? And she was like, it's Monday. I said, no, love. What's the date? She said, April the 1st. I said, which means that it is April Fool's Day, fool. They were so invested in it, though. I thought it was the cutest thing. The cutest thing. They were distraught over this post that Phantom Regiment was changing their colors and they were going to be green.
It didn't help that the Cavies published those red uniforms.
I loved it. Like they worked
together. They actually looked really good.
Awesome. They did actually. Yeah, they really did. I was all for the pet, matching pet costumes from FJM.
Yes.
I mean, I've never taken my dog with me, but what if I was?
I was looking at this and I was like, there's going to be some people that will be legit upset that this is not for real.
I am one of those people because I saw that post and I was ordering costumes. I was on the website ready to order costumes for both of my dogs. I mean, they were going to be cuted up. Just like the color guard.
The number of babies I see at competitions wearing the costume of their color guard is like, I feel like the dog thing would go over well, especially like in Drum Corps world.
Oh, for sure.
We used to do that when I was in Mississippi at Petal. When Yana Broom and I were teaching together, her daughter Scarlett was a baby, and we would always have a costume made for Scarlett that matched the color guard costume. Yeah. So at state championships, we were pushing her around in the stroller, and she matched the color guard hoodie. So I would absolutely do it with my puppies.
Did you guys see the Blue Stars one that they did a show announcement for the Minions on Ice? They're doing like a ice skating marching show about the Minions.
That one.
Oh, it was so funny. That was pretty good. Talking about like Corps getting away from their traditional uniforms. They're wearing like Minions costumes practically. All right.
We had our own little April Fool's joke from On a Water Break. Jeremy thought it would be funny to say, oh my gosh, Dayton flooded. Where are we going to have championships? That sends people into heart attacks.
There were some people who were super legit mad.
Panic attacks.
All right. Well, we need to get back out on the floor right now so we can polish this show up for WGI. But when we come back, Bobbey Biddle from Showday Designs is going to be joining us. So don't go far. Don't take any extra long bathroom breaks. Just get out there, do your reps, and come right back to our water break.
Hey, this is Christine Ream.
And Chris Green.
Guard Closet was founded as a consignment business in 2000. Since then, it has grown to include winter guard, band, percussion, and other genres.
We can help you with custom flag and costuming designs.
Our consignment inventory has plenty of great looks for your color guard, drumline, and marching band.
Pay it forward. When you purchase consignment, you help other programs. Last year, we sold over 400 sets of consignments and returned over $125,000 in payments to our consigners for their sales.
Additionally, Guard Closet offers custom and pre-designed costumes, flags, floors, and formal wear, full or partial show writing, educational programming, and other services.
Max out your rehearsal time and set up a microsite for easy student ordering for shoes, gloves, and other equipment.
The Guard Closet team is here to help you get everything you want and need for your season. Check us out at guardcloset.com and follow us on social media.
So we have an amazing guest host joining on with us for this second segment of our show. He is the right-hand human over at Showday Designs, color guard designer and instructor currently, also a band director, so I'm sure we'll hear more about that in just a moment. And he also happens to be the executive director of the Miss Philadelphia Scholarship Organization. Please welcome to the water break, Bobbey Biddle.
Hi, friends. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. I'm so excited to actually see you face to face, not just be like a signature on an email.
Exactly. So true.
So if you've listened to our show before, you hopefully know what's coming up next is we're going to do your 32 count life story.
I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
Well, I'm excited too. We're going to give you 8 off the mat for free, and then you just jump right in. You get 32 counts, which is about 30 seconds. Tell us your entire life story from birth to today. However you want to, throw it all together.
Okay. Well, I am Bobbey Biddle. I'm originally from Delaware, that very small state in the Mid-Atlantic. I grew up performing color guard at the University of Delaware Visual Arts Production Company. I marched in Apex. I marched in the Black Watch. I am the director of the Miss Philadelphia Scholarship Program. I work at Showday Designs, and I'm currently the director of the marching band at Plymouth Whitemarsh High School in the Philadelphia area, and also their indoor color guard. I also work with Jeremy for Philadelphia Pride 365. Yeah, I think I kind of did it.
So I have a question just right off the bat.
Right.
Have you ever heard of free time?
Right. Well, right. Exactly. So tonight my students, my drumline and my color guard students had their friends and family, but I raced home to jump on for this. There's some free time, but the idle hands are the devil's workshop, I guess. So
well, now that you're here, I want to chat with everybody about what we're going to do in Dayton this week, because seriously, this is epic. We've been planning it for so long. Bobbey, can you tell us about some of the people that Showday is going to have in the booth for us to talk to on the pod?
Well, I do think that that's still a work in progress. I do think that people are still figuring out their schedules. I am told that you all sort of have it, I think, more figured out than maybe we do with some of your own ideas for guests. But I do want to say that I'm excited that those of you that know Joe Heinegger, he's one of those sort of undercover, secret, like brainiac, brilliant designers in the entire activity. He doesn't insist upon himself. He just lets his talent speak for himself. But those of us that know that Joe is a power player in the design world. So it's exciting that we're this year a gold level sponsor for WGI. And of course, this idea of partnering with On a Water Break just felt so natural. And why not bring some attention to our own booth and bring some great guests onto your program? So we do have some clients of ours, Norwin High School, Independent World out of the Pittsburgh area. I believe they're going to be on the Magnolia Project. They're Independent Open. They're in the Midwest. Milford High School in Ohio, Scholastic World. The Black Watch, Independent World out of South Jersey. Also out of South Jersey, AMP Winter Guard. Of course, we all know AMP and love AMP. So I think that that's an example of probably a few of the guests that we're looking forward to featuring on the podcast at World Championships.
I'm so excited. So excited about this. We want everybody who can just come stop by and be part of the show, be a part of the audience, enjoy this fun. We're just going to be having like throughout the whole WGI Championships on a water break. So it's going to be amazing. And can I also throw in, if Blessed Sacrament wanted to stop by, I would not complain. Just throwing that out there. All right, it is time to dive a little bit deeper into who we are excited to see live in Dayton this week. Let's each start with our top pick. And if you have a second one, that's cool too. We don't have to be, sticklers about this. Ricardo,
Oh my God. This is hard because there are so many people that I am very excited to see. I mean, I live in Florida, so I saw a lot of great color guard last weekend at our state championships at the FFCC championships over in Daytona Beach. But I'm excited to see some groups outside of Florida. Really excited to see Paramount in person just because what they do is amazing. And I will be interviewing Rick Subel and Andrea Forish for this podcast next week. So excited to see what they're going to do. I am really excited to see my Cavalier brother and former boss, Danny Wiles, Avon High School. First of all, I was planning on doing that song next year for my group, and then I got a video of them doing it, and I'm mad about it. But when I saw it, I was like, I can't be mad because this is beautiful. It's just everybody. I am such a color guard nerd, and there are so many groups that I'm just going to be in the gym, in the arena. Sorry, not the gym, the arena, ready to see. Lexus, I'm excited to see my group Eclipse in person because I've never seen them in person do the show other than just at rehearsals when I've been there. There's so many people. So I'm going to be cheering for everybody. Everybody that's there.
Trish, I know you always have the dish. Who are you excited for?
Nobody here on this podcast is going to be surprised at my answer whatsoever. Anybody that sat with me at any of the East Coast regionals will know my answer by heart. In late January, I saw this color guard at a local show, and I said, this is the best Scholastic A guard I've seen since the last time I said that in 2012 when I watched Somerville High School at this very same show in West Orange. I said, this is the best Scholastic A guard I've seen since insert the prior one. Arlington High School is my surprise pick for you must see them. You must make it happen and get there to see them. I spoke to Burke Cousins this week about potentially coming on the podcast with us live at the Showday Designs table. He's working on it. He's in the zone, right? He's in the zone right now. He's trying to figure it all out. I told him, I know you'll be busy until Saturday. He's kind of putting on the karma cap when I say that right now, but I don't really think he needs to. I think this is a special program. I said it from the first time I saw it in January. The way that they take the whole Lizzie Borden thing, they tie it in with Hurt by Christina Aguilera, how she hurt, how I hurt myself by hurting you, and the whole the introduction of the first flag with the exchange. I could go on all day, but I'm trying to figure it out. I land Thursday night in Cincinnati. I'm trying to figure out if I can make it in time to Kentucky to see their prelims run. Like, I'm obsessed with this show and this color guard, and I really hope and I really think this is their year.
It's going to be so much fun to see what they do with it. Stephanie?
So, obviously, I want to see my own kid, but if you haven't checked out Alta Maria yet, you need to check it out. It's really a fantastic show. One of my favorites. I saw it in Atlanta a few weeks ago. Also got to see Paramount live twice. Incredible. Avon is my favorite show, but the one that has not been mentioned yet that I've always been a fan, but when I saw this in Atlanta for finals, I was like, oh, this is next level fan now, is Etude. Absolutely just a beautiful show to watch. Beautiful.
Yes. They're always beautiful.
They are. Yes. And there is just something about this show this year. It is just so easy on the eyes, and it's just, you can just watch it for the pure enjoyment, and you just, like, your whole body goes soft. You're just so relaxed watching it. But don't sleep on Etude this year. I think it's the best one that they've done.
I love those soft, beautiful shows. I'd like just knowing that color guard is like, it's so pure and gorgeous, and like being able to bring that out.
Yes.
Ashlee.
So I can't really think of like one specific group, but I am so excited to watch the Scholastic World Guards. They are absolutely my favorite category to watch because it's like these kids are 12 to 18, and the things that they're doing is equivalent to the things that Independent World, which is mostly 18 and over, they're doing the same exact things. and some of them are doing it better. So, yeah. But I think I always look forward to seeing Miamisburg because Heather Graham works with them, and she's always been kind of like an idol to me in the color guard world because she started as a twirler, I started as a twirler, so I feel like we're like connected. I like to think we are.
Yes. We haven't had Heather Graham on the show yet, have we? We need Heather Graham. We need to get you down. I interviewed her on the Spintronics podcast, on a previous podcast that I used to host, and for Spintronics, and it was fantastic talking to her. I feel like we connected on like a whole other level. She's incredible.
I did not know that she was a former twirler, but that makes so much sense now when you watch the work that she writes.
Since she was little.
I see it.
Yeah, she was in a group called the Daily Debutantes out of, I think it's Wisconsin, and their thing is like Irish, so she was like the little leprechaun in their parade corps group.
That is
why have I not heard of this, and why is this now going to be my new obsession? Because I want to be a daily
I'm
debutante.
heading straight to YouTube after this. I'm finding baby Heather Graham.
Every St. Patrick, she puts a profile picture of her. She's like, I think she's 4, and she's
it's like every St. Patrick's Day she changes it. Yes, I love it.
Fantastic. Well, Heather Graham, you are a celebrity, and we are all obsessed with you. So make sure you come stop by the booth of WGI. We're gonna have some fun. Bobbey, who are you looking forward to?
Yeah. So obviously, our clients, our Showday design clients. I will say, hooray! A couple that I haven't seen that I'm excited to see. We work with Tampa Independent out of Florida. Lavoot. I think they're out of Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri.
All of the Origins teams, they're always just put forward such polished, great programs. I'm always cheering on Team Canada. Cynthia and I go way back. We're old buddies. And so I'm always so impressed and proud with the unique perspective they bring to our activity. So I'm excited to see all of Team Canada. And I'm always rooting for our local teams. So we're based in Philadelphia. So those New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware teams, I'm always rooting for them. So I'm pretty excited to see all of those groups.
Yay! Can I also throw something in about Origins? When we went to WGI with Spintronics in 2022, we were going for the experience of it, and we had such a great time with it. And when we showed up, the first group that was like, oh my gosh, we're so glad you guys are here, was Origins. They
it's so nice.
They came out of the woodwork to like welcome us and make us feel like we belonged, and we were excited to be there, and they were excited to have us there. And like seriously, every Origins group, they were like so nice, and they were so welcoming and open, and like it was just great. It was great. It was an awesome experience. Cynthia, who are you excited about?
Well, our producer said we should only say one, and I'm not calling out people who said more than one, but everyone knows that I'm a nerd.
I said you can say more than one. I nixed him. I said, yeah, don't listen to Jeremy.
I feel like almost very predictable, but I'm glad that Trish said an A class, because I think everyone that goes to WGI should try to go other places than UD Arena. Just putting out there, like no group in particular, if you can.
Oh, girl, I'm going to be floating to A class and open class because all the kids deserve the praise.
Go. And they're great. I love Nutter Center, in particular. Like it's just good to see kids perform, not just in the UD Arena, but obviously the Canada crew that are going to be performing. And if you listen to the roundtable on Thursday, you can make it all. There's one at like 10:30ish, there's one at 5:30ish, and then there's one at 6:30ish, and they're all at 15 minutes of distance of one another, so you can make it all. But and that's where I feel like I land being predictable. I like being uneased, if that's a word. So I cannot wait to see Onyx. Everyone knows that I'm a big, big, big Onyx fan. I've always been an Onyx fan. I've always been a fan of anything that is kind of different and uneasy. If you don't understand it, I like it. It's just the way I am. And this past week, I think Michael Lenz talked about how he changed the tune of the note if you've seen, because it does make people uneasy, that note. And it got, I think, lowered a little bit, so it gets less uneasy. But it is, if you've watched, there's a bunch of shows that just popped on YouTube, but if you've watched it, at the end, you are, I don't know how you're uneasy. It's anything I can say. Like, it doesn't feel, I'm kind of worried that my daughter by like half of the show is going to be crying and wanting to walk out, and I'm going to be like the bad mom being like, no, you sit down and you go through this. It's going to be a life experience. Her dad is not going to be happy about that. But anyway, so I want to see them. I want to see that. And I want to see Fantasia in person too. I don't know if we've talked about this here, but they're doing the show about Gabriel, oh shit, big word. Gabriel Hernandez. Sorry, it's a French word. It means, anyway. So,
Cynthia's not speaking in her native tongue, everyone, so it's okay.
Là, je parle en français pour le reste de l'épisode.
Tabarnak.
Tabarnak. Oh my God, we're going to say all the bad words. Jeremy's like, no. Let's start again. Fantasia is doing a show about Gabriel Hernandez. Oh, I'm not going to be able to say his name, but the little boy that went through horrible short.
Gabriel Hernandez, yes.
Merci, Bobbey.
There was like a Netflix documentary or a documentary about him. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been, some people have been like not agreeing with the subject or agreeing with the subject or having opinions, but the director, I think, had he put out there on Instagram why that was inspiration and the story behind it and why they're doing this. And I think it's really, really interesting. So yet again, I like to be uneased. So I cannot wait to see in person. I think, Ricardo, are they local-ish to you? Have you seen them live?
Which group? I'm sorry.
Fantasia.
No, that's in California, baby. I live on the
I don't know.
coast.
I'm in Canada. There's like 12.
America's a large country, Cynthia. I live on one ocean and they live on the other one.
I know. If people know me.
It's okay, baby. I don't know Canadian geography either. It's okay.
No, not one bit.
All right. Well, that's good. Anyway, so if you can see it, I cannot wait to see them. Yeah.
I've already mentioned it, but I'm really excited for Blessed Zach. Those of you who
can we please talk about it? Please talk about Zach. They're amazing.
Go for it. I haven't watched it.
No, you go for it.
I haven't watched it yet. I don't know. I'm just excited about Zach. What I was going to say is that you guys know I'm a history buff, and so for
Trish
me,
and I
when I see
live.
them,
yeah,
it's like living history. So like, what like? Tell me. I haven't seen it yet.
Trish and I got to see it live. Jeremy too, I believe, at WGI East, and my personal takeaway, well, first of all, the music is just, it's all that great Bernstein stuff, which is really hard to get the rights to. So kudos for them. Kudos to them. It is quite an experience. But I think the thing that I'm most impressed by, and I always think this when I see, let's say, the Blue Devils, I'm so impressed by the professionalism of the performer. And that just is so mind-blowing. I think that, and not every group and every performer always has a perfect run, but you believe them. You believe them when they take the floor, and you're like, I know this is going to be something special. And of course, they just always give us iconic productions. Trish, I turn it over to you. You've been watching them for ages.
Honestly, this was going to lead me to my second can't miss moment in Dayton. I really can't wait to see for the first time in a long time, I really can't wait to see how this whole independent world thing is going to play out. Because honestly, we're all talking about SAC. I personally think it is SAC's year, but then you have a little known fact, Fusion actually really beat SAC in East prelims. Yes, there was a penalty that got involved there. So now, could Fusion top them? Where does Paramount fit into that mix? You have A2, like Stephanie mentioned earlier. Then you have Onyx. Then you have Fantasia. Then
Juxtaposition is in the conversation. Yeah.
It could be really, really interesting for the first time in a long time. It's not like last year I've said it before, the top three, I could have interchanged either way. But this year, there's not like I could have seen Pride winning last year. I was happy Paramount won. I love that show. But you could have seen SAC. You could have seen this year. It's like you just don't know. Like
it could change
really
every
go.
day.
It really
It could be prelims, one set, semis,
Stephanie,
finals.
it honestly could this year. It really could.
That's what makes it exciting, though.
Yeah.
When you don't know who's going to win, and you're excited to see all these different groups. That to me, I would much rather be in my seat going, "Oh my God, these kids are amazing," and it could go either way, than to walk into a night where it's like, "Oh, well, this is going to go to them, hands down." That's boring.
Performance of the night. Performance of the night.
Exactly.
I love
Performance
that.
of the night. And if the judges do what they're supposed to do, they're judging that night. So it can go either way. So whoever has the best show, whoever catches hard and on tape, that's who it's going to go to.
And on tape. I love it.
And on tape.
All right, everybody should try. Everybody needs to try to go to all of the venues to see as many of these teams as you can while you are there at WGI. It's so great to be able to support them all. We are going to be at these venues looking for people to talk to. So if you see one of us, do we all have backpacks? I know some of us have backpacks.
I'm going to be podcast ready to go. So if you see me and you want to talk, let's go.
Yes,
if you see our backpacks with the logo on a water break logo, stop us and be like, "Hey, I want to be on the show," and then we will.
Yes.
I know Ashlee's got one because she was sending pictures of hers rhinestoned to the group chat.
We were talking about on Easter Sunday. I was like, I think I have some extra rhinestones, and it worked out to be like the perfect colors, and I had just the right amount. I was like, this was meant to be. Totally destiny.
It was.
I'm very jealous of these rhinestone backpacks, Ashlee. I told you that in the group chat. I expect one for Ricardo Robinson Day, which is April the 5th. For those of you who live in Florida, it is an official day. Look for that post, but I want one for Ricardo Robinson Day.
That is my Sunday activity. I've cleared my calendar on Sunday and pulled out all the old dance rhinestones. And so there may be 2 rhinestone backpacks, but I saw yours and was like, my heart. I am such a bling girl. So thank you for that inspiration.
You're going to be like peeling them off of old costumes.
I love it. All right, you guys, let's get back out on the floor. We've got a couple more reps to do before we are Dayton ready. And then we'll be back on our water break in just a minute.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy, and here are your announcements coming from the box. You want to drink up on a water break Lost in Translation with Cynthia Bernard. Uncover the glitz and glamour of Twirlers with On a Water Break in Rhinestones, hosted by Lexi Duda. Get the insider scoop from the stands with On a Water Break from the Stands with Cindy Berry, aka Leander Mama, and join the band family in On a Water Break family style with Stephanie Click, plus much, much more to come. Make sure to follow us on social media at On a Water Break for all the latest updates and bonus content. Got something to share or a burning question? Email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com. So don't be the person that doesn't tell their friends about a water break. Make sure everyone stays hydrated. Okay, field staff, take it away.
Let's reset.
Okay, everyone, it is that time in the week where we go off against something that is bugging us in the marching arts world. We call it, What Are We Doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Okay, listen. I know that I've been doing my daily waterings, but here, what are we doing? We are at the end of the season. I love that you love your children, okay? But everybody's child has been working hard. Do not go into the gym to see these final performances that these kids have spent months working on and only clap for your child, okay?
Period.
We won't talk politics. I did not agree with a lot of Bush's things, but no child left behind applies here. No child should be left behind in Colorguard. All of these kids have worked hard. All of these instructors have put their hearts out on the line. Clap for everything that is good that you see at a championships performance. Do not hold your claps just for your child. It ain't gonna give them more points, girl. The judges are not judging by your claps, but the kids are responding to their hard work, and they are responding and performing to the energy that you give them. Give them all the praise. What are we doing? Do not clap only for your kids. Clap for all the kids. That's it. Period. End of story. I'm done.
Trish.
Okay. What are we doing with these insane airplane fees to get out to Dayton? I'm flying into Cincinnati. I got a really good break, but I looked at, since I'm off this week, I was like, maybe I could change it and fly directly into Dayton. Maybe I could. I work like half an hour from Newark Airport, and I'm flying out of LaGuardia, which is in New York. And I was like, I was looking today. I was like, maybe I could change it. Maybe I can maybe things are like $500 from Newark to Dayton or Newark to Cincinnati. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How are you people getting your kids? I'm bringing kids out next year. Like, how are we doing this? And I've heard people talk about the bus, the cost of the bus. Oh my God. Well, I'm flying to Cincinnati, but yeah, I think that's what's going to have to happen.
That's what I'm doing.
What are we doing with these air fees? Oh my gosh.
I'm driving.
It's insane.
Driving.
It's insane.
It's going to be like 12 hours, but I'm just going to drive it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Stephanie, what are we doing?
What are we doing with these parents that have never been to Dayton before, and all of a sudden they're our floor crew? So make sure, if all of a sudden you don't have your best friend's guard from down the road that's going to help you on and off the floor in Dayton, and it's all of a sudden it's mama and daddy and little sister, that you got to do that at home before you get on your expensive flight to Dayton. You got to do that practice run with Aunt Glenda and mama and daddy that have never done it before. Aunt Glenda is going to go out the wrong door. She is going to be doing a horizontal timeline and you're a vertical. So if you are not using the same people, your friends from down the street, and you got a whole brand new set of people, what are you doing? You're doing some practice runs on and off the floor with your friends.
I am cackling right now at Glenda and her vertical timeline and Girl, we are on horizontal. If y'all don't do a practice run, you know it. It's going to happen.
Yes.
Get Aunt Glenda out there and practice, honey.
Yes.
She got to know her role.
Yes, that's right.
Stephanie, you just wrote the first On a Water Break merch t-shirt. I want it.
So just so all of our listeners know, there is a Facebook group to help with this problem. Get on it. It's called the WGI Directors and Instructors for Floor Help. Get you another guard who needs help, who's not performing at the same time as you. Help each other out. That saved us.
That's amazing.
We had a friend of mine.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
My friend Michael Turner brought his Tennessee kids out, and they helped us with our floor, and it changed the entire experience. I think if we hadn't had that help, it wouldn't have worked. So yeah, get out there, get on that group and find somebody. Ashlee, what are we doing?
So mine is an actual question. What are we doing? I've heard people call WGI, WGI, but they also call it Debbie. But I've heard that calling Debbie is offensive. Can someone elaborate?
Girl, it's Debbie.
I never found that offensive ever.
Praise to Pink Dog. Yes.
Debbie,
I've never heard of her. She doesn't go
Debbie.
here.
Debbie? Oh my God.
It's weird. I don't like it. It's weird. I don't like it.
You don't? I think it's cute.
Debbie's not invited.
Bye.
Debbie's not invited.
Cynthia.
Okay.
Cynthia, would it be Deborah?
Deborah.
These are the same people that when they used to have the WGI South Brunswick Regional hated when they called it Sobro.
I've never known it as a thing that's Sobro.
Oh, I totally called it Sobro.
So I have a friend who makes a joke about this every year, and he said he says, I've been to WGI like 20 times and I have never met this Debbie person.
Debbie's not there. She's not invited.
Debbie is there. She is always there. You just got to know Debbie.
Debbie GI.
I guess it's one of those things, if you don't know, you just don't know. Sorry. Bobbey, what are we doing? I feel like being on the side of it that you're on, you have so many of these.
Well, I'm going to be a little bit corny. Will you all bear with me? What are we doing to help all of these incredible people that you plan to interview in our booth, Showday design clients? I mean, what are we doing? Help us to help you to help them, please. But I will say, on a more serious note, what are we doing about being unorganized at a show with your planning, with your transportation? Maybe that seems very broad, that maybe the sort of band director in me, but what are we doing with like not knowing whether we're coming or going? We haven't planned enough time to get from point A to point B. I'm not here for that. And I feel like Ricardo is not here for it either.
I have an Excel spreadsheet for everything. I have an Excel spreadsheet for my poop schedule every day. Y'all.
Yeah, thank you, Ricardo. Oh my God, you just thought about it. Like directors, you need your own schedule on top of like you need your kids' schedule. But you need a director schedule because there's so many stuff as a director. But like Ricardo, you're right. You need a minute to go to the bathroom as a director.
What are you doing without having an Excel spreadsheet for everything?
And you have to plan. What are you doing
you
if
have
you're
to
not
check in? That's not part of something you do with kids.
You have to plan for every mishap. You have the first competition my team went to this year. The school district bus didn't show up. The equipment van broke down. We went to the wrong school because it was a school district that had 2 high schools. You have to plan for everything. And because I was over-organized, there was enough time to make it happen. So what are we doing with not being overly planned? I guess that's what I would say.
That's a good one. Got to make that happen. Cynthia, what are we doing?
If I'm allowed, I have 2. The first one is the eyebrows are raised. Maybe I'm not allowed, but I'm taking it. What are we doing with shared rehearsal space? Watch out for your music. Be friends. Be friends of friends because we are all in the same boat. So there are groups that everyone know will play their music out of everyone's ear and that won't stop. And there are other groups that are like, no, you play your music and louder than mine because it's going to get my kids on top of their feet and stuff. So just be nice and be careful with your music and it's basic things like if tarps are back to back, put your radio to the wall instead of towards your speaker towards the other group.
You're talking about like shared WGI warm up, like rehearsal spots.
Rehearsal spots, yeah. Because there's a lot of those, right? There's a lot
tennis
of those,
courts.
So all the tennis courts, and they're good. They're good spaces in general. Just be careful, be friends between each other, and I don't even think some of the people. It's not because they're competitive. It's just because they're so into it with your own kids, right? So be careful of that. And the other thing, and then maybe it's going to be another debate, like Debbie is, but you got it is not a way to support. And big eyebrows. Oh my God. We have things.
Can I share real quick? I think
share.
A lot of people maybe on the call know the name Matt Hurley.
Maybe that's why.
And he's on the other side of a wall over there, by the way. But he has this opinion of, you got it. No, you don't have it. You don't got it.
You ain't got it, girl. If it's in your hands, you ain't got it.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
The floor got it.
But I have that statement in the back of my head. So Cynthia, continue.
Yeah. So my thing, it's a little bit like Matt. It's the you got it. Is the you ain't got it, and that's why it's not something. And I will go back to what Ricardo said. Clap. When I was a director, I would say clap for efforts, not just for success. So success. There was a lot of S's in this. Success. So if someone don't got it,
I'm putting that on the T-shirt.
If people don't got it, don't say you got it. Clap for them. You know what I mean? Like do something that makes because you got it is not a phrase that is necessarily cute. And I don't think that a lot of people, it's just, I even say it sometimes and I'm like stopping my own self. I'm like, can you please? So
Now,
yeah.
we can say you got it at the beginning of the season, but girl, it's championships and the end of times now. If you don't got it, girl, you ain't got it.
Hey,
you ain't got it.
Hey, Jackie.
You ain't got time to get it.
You ain't
Jackie,
got time to get it.
Jackie, could I be so bold for just a quick second as the guest host? And then I'm going to say it and I'm going to cut out. What are we doing with the extra long purr, clap, slay, work, honey,
I was just going to say that.
Oh my God.
I was just going to say that.
All right, so then I turn it over to Trish.
Are we purring everybody this year?
Stephanie Click, I'm looking at you and the state of Texas right now.
I know. Why can we not just go the stars at night?
And that's the end. That's the end. Girl, I tried last year to figure it out. I don't even know what was going on. I don't know what was happening. And I want to clap and I want to be a part of the magic. But listen, our chants are too long. We're going to chant, we're going to do our thing, and then that's it. You get 8 counts and you're out. 8 counts from the mat and you're out.
It's too much. And then when I went to Georgia and I went to the Atlanta finals, and then that was a whole other thing that was like 47 counts of a clap. And I was like, oh my God, it has to stop.
That was 39
somebody's going to get a timing penalty. Yes,
39 counts too long.
Too much.
And here I'm in a group, a WGI group on Facebook where Indiana guard directors were trying to coordinate with how they could get something going for their Indiana groups, like what Texas has at WGI. And it was like, just stop, don't do it.
And
we have the Team Florida thing that we're supposed to be doing, and I'm like, listen, if this is more than 8 counts, we're gonna stop.
And in the Northeast, we don't care.
Right.
We just don't care. You just get on the floor and do your thing.
We all need to adopt that. Yes.
I think that's gonna be a daily watering this week. Look for that one.
It could be.
All right, I guess it is time to jump into our gush and goes. And this week we are going to be gushing and going some of our favorite things in Dayton, Ohio for WGI Championships.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
All right, Ricardo, why don't you jump off on this one?
Listen, I y'all don't know this, but my husband is actually from Dayton, Ohio. So, in all of the years that I was coming to Dayton and all this stuff, my husband and I, our paths were crossing in different ways. So I get to experience WGI as both a family trip and a color guard trip. So I'm going to tell everyone, especially those of you who are in percussion world after this podcast airs, if you are in Troy, Ohio, go to Agave and Rye and have some of their crazy taco creations. I'm talking about these people put mac and cheese. They put all sorts of crazy things that you would never think that works on a taco, but it works on a taco. And it is great. Last year when I took my kids to WGI for the first time, we actually stayed in Troy, Ohio because I knew the neighborhood that the hotel was in. We were going to be close to family. And I took all of my kids to Agave and Rye for tacos after we got there. And the kids are still talking about it to this day. We want to go back to Dayton, Ohio and go to Troy, Ohio to have tacos at Agave and Rye. So that's what I'm most excited about. I didn't get them at Christmas on my Christmas trip because it was too busy, crazy. But I'm going immediately on Wednesday night after my flight lands.
Trish.
Okay, so probably many of you have brought your team there, but a can't miss a Dayton is the Spaghetti Warehouse. The food is great. They do really good deals for the color guards that go there. You could go you could go just with friends, or you could bring your whole team. You have to call, make a reservation, but and you always see groups there and everybody's all like, some of the teams are like dressed up because it's like their big night out, but it's a great experience and don't miss it.
Make reservations, probably.
Yeah. Every time I brought a team there, just call and make reservations.
Stephanie.
Well, keeping on food, if you want a good breakfast, you got to go to the Greasy Spoon of Bob Evans. We don't have those down here. We don't have those in Texas. And let me tell you,
Bob Evans.
It is one of those places, probably the health department should probably shut it down, but it is so good. It is so good. And it is a good Southern little breakfast. It looks like it's in a barn kind of thing. But my gush is that. And my go is I've been going to WGI since 1990. And I am just wondering, and maybe one of y'all knows, if the construction is done at that exit to get off for UD Arena. How has it been going for 35 years? We have been doing the construction. So it is my hope. It is my hope this year that construction's finally done.
I'm in Dayton twice a year, Stephanie, and it will never be done.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever even seen a worker like from the 90s on. Like it's just barrels and all of that. So my Bob Evans, and I'm even just let me see a worker. Let me see a worker.
Okay. Ashlee?
I think the only thing I'm like, well, not the only thing. I'm really just excited to go watch Colorguard and enjoy it because I haven't been to that many shows this year, like in person, but like I've had rehearsal every weekend. Like for my kids, we're just doing like local circuit. It's our first year. So we are certainly not anywhere close for WGI. But after rehearsal, we would get done rehearsal and then I come home and I see the Minis Power Regionals on Flow Marching or the East Regionals on Flow Marching. I'm like, oh, I can watch more Colorguard. So I leave Colorguard rehearsal and then come home and then watch more Colorguard. So I'm excited to see it all in person.
You're a Colorguard instructor is what you're saying.
That is what I'm saying. I think I am.
Bobbey?
I am gushing about the kindness of people from the Midwest. That when I am, as a Mid-Atlantic Philadelphian, I am not used to, good morning, how are you? How y'all doing? I'm not used to that. So I'm gushing about it and I'm sharing it with our listeners because it can be jarring. Those of you from the South, that is in your bloodstream. But it's not what we're used to. I don't know how it is in Canada, Cynthia. It seems like you all are very much like New Englanders. So I'm gushing about how wonderful the lady at the local Dunkin' Donuts is. I'm gushing about how kind the gentleman is at the desk at the hotel. So I'm gushing and I'm asking our listeners to go with kindness and go with thank yous and good mornings and hellos and thank you for your time.
Amen.
And I know this is a busy weekend, so thank you for all that you're doing. Yeah. The volunteers in the arena and all of the performance spaces. So that's what I'm gushing and going about.
Cynthia.
So Jeremy's going to find me annoying, but apparently there's going to be friendship bracelet this year.
Yes!
I am so excited. We're making, and I said to my kids on Wednesday night, the Canadians we're all staying at the same hotel. We're going to have a friendship bracelet night where we're going to make bracelets. And I think if one person gives me a bracelet, I will cry my eyes out. And
I have one for you. My elementary cadet color guard is making bracelets for me to trade at WGI. So when you guys come to the booth, the Showday design booth, to get your interview with us, I'm going to have bracelets that were made by my little babies.
Oh my God. And I think what is so touching for me is that we don't, like Bobbey said, we're kind of all wanting to experience it, but we're all stressed out because we all have a place to go, right? And this makes us stop and talk for a second to someone, or sometimes you don't have the time, but switching a bracelet is just enough. And on that note, on Friday night, the A-class finals is an event to be at because world-class kids are not performing. The stadium is full and it's a great moment. If you're a fan of a performer whatsoever, but of a world-class performer, they're most of the time all there. And stopping them and saying how great they are, and then I will prime and pump them out for Saturday. So yeah, friendship bracelet, I'm going to have them. And I'm bringing back I had a tradition where I had maple candies and I was just giving maple candies to whoever wanted. So if you want a maple candy and you cross me, I will have those. And yeah, just stop, take a second and say hi.
Out trays of Putin.
Putin.
I'm there, Cynthia.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Here's some Canada. Let's go.
Yeah, we used to do that at cabs. I would bring all this stuff to make poutines on finals at DCA.
My three favorite food groups: potatoes, cheese, and gravy.
Mm-hmm.
Here for it.
You need to go Bob Evans.
Yes.
You get all
Bob
three
Evans
of
has it all.
Yeah, Bobbey is doing this because this is one of the things that you may not know, but as a Quebecer, it's one of the funniest things to ask wherever restaurant and say, can you please give me fried gravy and cheese and see what comes out? Because, I mean, a billion time out of a billion, it's not a poutine, but you're right. It's along the way.
I have a gush and go, more of a request for anybody who's listening, or for any of you guys too, if you want to, is to go and DM me on Instagram. And I need some like advice about having little ones and being pregnant at WGI, because where's all the bathrooms? Where can I fill my water bottle up 18 times?
How old is your kid?
He is 2.5.
All right. So with what Bobbey said about how nice people are, if you go to UD and you look like you're a mom of a young kid, they're going to open doors for you. Like I have a picture of Baba giving a bottle of Saha, who's 6-week-old, like laying on popcorn bags behind a canteen. Like they're really, really nice.
I will take that baby anytime. I will hold that baby. You go, you do your thing. You do whatever. I will hold that baby. I love having babies at WGI.
I'm a little more worried about being pregnant because I gotta also like juggle that too.
Mm-hmm. I was pregnant when my son was a June baby, and so obviously I was like 8 months pregnant at WGI with him, very pregnant. And they'll let you go behind any kind of barrier because, I mean, you're looking pregnant. So nobody's going to tell a pregnant woman you can't go in this bathroom that's supposed to be only for the judges. Like, they're going to let you go.
That is the kindness of the people that are working there. And
that
goes back to what I was saying, the workers, the concession workers, that a lot of them, some of them are WGI specific people, but some of them are facility volunteers. They're UD Arena employees, actually. So I would lean into that if you need a moment. If you look, Jackie, I'm gonna have the extra special badges. If you need to sit in the comfy red cushion seats, come find me. I can hook you up.
Even the parking people roll down your window and say, "I'm pregnant." They're not gonna put you in the back. They're gonna usher you up to the front. They just are. They're so nice. They really are, like, pretty genuinely.
Since they're
like,
so
humble.
nice, can we talk to them about bringing back the donuts?
I love donuts.
And where are the nuts? Where are the almonds or whatever they were?
I know.
Oh my God!
Yes. Does anybody remember the mini donuts? Please tell me somebody remembers the mini donuts.
I'm old enough to remember those. Yeah,
I remember them.
Can that be the title? Where are the nuts and the
I missed
the donuts,
pickles, but I missed the donut.
My boyfriend, it's every year when WGI comes around, he's trying to think of a way that he could get like a mini donut concession, like outside the arena.
Mm-hmm. He'd make a fortune.
Yeah.
Hey, it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
Thank you for a great rehearsal this week. Thank you to all of our hosts, Ricardo, Trish, Stephanie, Ashlee, Bobbey, and Cynthia. Thank you, Bobbey. Where can we find you and Showday on social media?
Oh, well, first of all, thank you all for having me. It's such a pleasure. I've been listening for weeks and months, and you guys do such an incredible job, which is the only reason why we would even agree to partner with On a Water Break and all of you incredible hosts. So we are www.showdaydesigns.com on the World Wide Web. On Instagram, we are I think it's at Showday Designs. Someone might have to double check. Jeremy, if you could put up a Chiron, that would be great. But more importantly, as Jackie's been saying, come see us in Dayton. We're actually going to be there for both weekends. A larger weekend next weekend with all of you with the On a Water Break podcast, but we will actually have a bit of a presence on Percussion Weekend. We have some incredible percussion wins clients that we're happy to and proud to be partners with. So look for us there. But thank you again for having me tonight. And I'm so looking forward to meeting so many of you next week. And hey, let's turn up in the Showday Designs On a Water Break booth.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Well, one more thing.
Ricardo
don't forget
and
we have...
I feel like are going to really turn it up, though. I think that's where the happen.
You know it, baby. It is going to be
Last thing,
live
don't forget,
and in living color.
Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Our many of our videos are coming out in our interviews are coming out as videos, so make sure you go and subscribe. Don't miss those. We want 1 million subscribers by Dayton. That's the plan. But before you go and close out of your podcast listening app, make sure you go subscribe, write us a review, share this episode with a friend, follow us on all of our social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
Go practice.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.